Patreon Q&A for July, part 2. All right, so Sue wants to know if we can get any insight on the earthquakes that happen in California. This feels like the I feel like I've mentioned this before about the churning up of the energies. You know how everything's like anything that was buried is just getting, you know, we're tilling the soil. Everything that was under there is coming up to the surface. That's weird. Um, and then I feel like the earth itself is trying to prevent an energetic similarity from occurring. Like we don't want, we're having some volcanoes go off, but we don't want that, and like we don't want huge eruptions. So she's like trying to, shift a little and balance some things, and that causes big disruptions for us because we're little teeny tiny things on the surface of this bigger thing that's trying to stabilize. Something else came and I was in the middle of talking, so I missed it. I'm trying to grab that, whatever it was. Something about the sun. Sunspots, we have similar. We have earth spots, just like we have sunspots that release energy. We could see those. Um, I'm not sure if they have a way to measure earth spots, but um, it's just a balancing. It's not. It's nothing like, people in California are bad, and so, there's this bad energy and it's shaking things. No, I know so many people, so many beautiful, beautiful people in California and that whole area. Yeah, I'm not saying like any super deep, like, significance to it. It's just that, there's a lot of everything's being brought to the surface so it can be cleaned. If there's a bunch of stones under there and you bring them up to the surface and they're covered with mucky goop, um, once you get them to the surface, the rain can rain on them and clean them off. So I feel like we're in this process of just churning up this junk that needs to be cleaned, and it will be. But in the process of that energetic, the earth feels that, and she's trying to balance and keep things stable. But I mean, it's going to shake a little, I guess. There's going to be some volcanoes and earthquakes, and weather's going to get kind of screwy. Although I feel like the weather has more to do with our emotional stuff than earth stuff. So, Mark, what ET races visited the Australian Aborigines? And is it true that their DNA has never been tampered with or like artificially or purposely altered? What ET races visited the Australian Aborigines? What's funny is I'm recording this, but I can actually see you guys watching this. It's so cool. It's like time. It needs time. I can see. I can see y'all. I can see y'all because I can tell that you're receiving information about the ETs while I'm asking this. I can see certain ones of you. I feel like it's the same ones the Egyptians saw. I see blue. I see blue beings and green, humanoid looking, but different skin, telepathic. You're probably going to want names for these races, and I'm not. I'll see if I can get them. Seems like it's almost dreamlike. Almost where I can't tell if they came to them in dreams or they were physically there and the Aborigines just thought they were having these dreams because they would do something like, they would do things like, I see this blue being and um, just mentally he's creating like a seed that goes in the soil and then immediately something grows out of that seed. So I feel like they're teaching them things, maybe not that particular thing, but they're teaching them things they can do to make things more pleasant and, easier for them. But they're doing it in such a way that's like it's not normally how things work here on Earth. You don't just put a seed in and it grows immediately. And you also don't just put a seed in without touching it, which is what this being has done. He's just like made a seed appear and go into the earth and cover up, and then he's made this thing. And I don't know if that's an actual representation of what happened or if that's just like a metaphor for they showed them things but they showed them telepathically so that they felt it was more dreamlike. And now I feel like it's connected to Asian culture as well because I'm seeing like a blue being that with like Asian features, and I feel like there's a cultural, um, their gods and things. Blue. Who were the Who were the blue people that helped everybody? Sirius? Syrians? Are they blue? They can appear to us as bluish. It wasn't their intention to appear bluish. Something to do with the light or something. It's just how we perceive it with our human eyes. Okay, so did they have their DNA messed with or not? I'm trying to compare them with other ancient people to see if there's a difference. I mean, I can't tell. I don't see any. I mean, what I got was like, no, but, by now, how do I say this in a nice way? intermixing with other races is going to, change their DNA, obviously. So who was? I feel like the Egyptians have like Atlantean DNA, possibly some, and so I guess in that way their DNA was altered. Certain blood types in certain areas. Possibly the Rh negative thing was a. Let me double check. I'm not getting a clear answer on that. I feel like they're saying only certain. It's not like a whole race that got tampered with. It was those who agreed to, I don't know, embody more light on the planet or something, and they have some tweaks. I'm not sure the tweaks were physical or it was just agreed on, and the energy when it came in just altered the DNA of the physical form, physical body. Okay. This one, I'm not going to say who it's from because maybe he doesn't want people to know. Do dolphins and whales serve a greater purpose other than just the interactions with humans and how we perceive them? There's like so many different aspects to this. Let me try to unpack it, pick it apart, and go through it. Um, the first thing was they're good examples of embodying joy and not having sort of like a negative polarity. They might have, dolphins may have a little bit, but I mean, they basically do what they need to do and they have fun. So they're a good example. And they're also a good energetic to have on the planet because we want to emulate that. The second thing is because they are sort of a way of being, they're living embodying a way of being that we're aspiring to. We can incarnate if we want, or maybe not. Maybe incarnate's not quite the right word. We can, from outside of this experience, send part of our energy in with the dolphins or the whales. So I feel more the dolphins for this, to experience what that feels like. So even though it's not the same species, we want to know what it's like to come into a physical being, to be joyful, to have fun, and just live without any, guilt about eating what you eat or whatever, what you look like, stuff like that. So like it's good practice, sort of, for us to come in and embody ourselves here. Was there? It seemed like there was another thing. Oh, something about ancient times. Something about a time when there was a humanoid type being, but aquatic. I don't want to say mermaids and stuff because I don't know if that's, but like dolphins evolved from that time period or something. Ancient, like beyond ancient. Like we can't even comprehend how far back that was. Or maybe it wasn't even on the planet. I don't know. Maybe it's just this type of energy in this, and their source energy either comes from a very ancient aquatic time on Earth, or uh, another planet where there were aquatic humanoid beings or something. That's kind of cool. Okay, and the last question is it from Mark. Is it possible to release the memory of other people from your field after having sex? Release the memory of other people. I just want to. The funny part of that is that I just like what pops into my head is like, isn't that what women accuse men of doing anyway? Or, what men accuse women of doing. I don't know. Sometimes. So it must be possible because people do it. Let's see if they have a technique or something that would be helpful. They're saying the easiest and quickest way is to switch your attachment from that memory of that energetic to something different. That's the fastest way. And what you choose to attach that to is up to you. Um, that's the first thing. Let's see, there's more. You can consciously detach the quantum entanglement. Um, there's so much physics in this part. I don't. Let me see if I can get some metaphors or something. It's about how time really works and changing the. Okay, oh gosh. All right, so you can rewrite what actually happened, which can take practice and meditation. Rewrite it, go over and over until it's habit, until your neural pathways are changed. We already discussed this in a different part. And make it a habit that that's not the thought anymore. You don't have the attachment to that thought. You can also, and now I can't remember if I just said this or not, but imagine it as a physical. All right, imagine this. Okay, so quantum entanglement. You've got two particles. They were at one time together, and now, you do something to this one, and this one reacts. Well, imagine the two people, and there's like this. It's like a cord, but it's made up of a lot of particles. I'm not exactly sure what those particles represent. Not sure I'll be able to figure that out. Okay, so what you would have to do is imagine the cord that is attaching you quantumly, just in meditation, just dissolve the quantum entanglement. Just dissolve that cord and just repeat. The problem with that, though, they're saying is because you're focusing on the fact that you and this person were attached, you're really kind of reinforcing while you're trying to dissolve it. So I think going back to the first thing they said, which is to just change the attachment, or to either rewrite the memory or change the attachment. So maybe rewrite the memory with a different person or being or energy, or attach to the next thing you're interested in that way, or person in that way. That's all I got for that one. Is that it? I think I finished everything. Wow. All right, that's it. That's the end of part 2 for July. I will try to do this earlier. Yeah, I'll try to do personals like next week. So if you have any specific topics you want addressed in your personal readings, those of you who are on the personal reading tier, let me know as soon as possible. Otherwise, I'm just going to do general messages if I don't hear from you guys real soon on those. And then I will try to get the August Q&A done like on the 15th or right around the 15th. So, wish me luck. Love you guys. Thanks for all the great questions. That was really interesting. And I will talk to you again soon. Bye.